Hello, this is the TheRedstoneCamper. Welcome to today's tutorial and showcase. So this showcase follows on from the video which my brother has posted up on YouTube. So I'll link that to you in the image somewhere, probably up in the top corner, and we'll come to that later. So essentially what this is it uses the new beacon block, and it uses it to make waypoints for adventure maps. So this is the device. So it fits in a 4x3x5 block zone. So the device uses an RS latch at the back there connected to a piston. Now, before I can go into this device, I've got to explain some of the concept about beacon blocks. Now, in order for a beacon block to work, there must be two conditions apparent. Now, looking at its interface, you can see that you have primary power and secondary powers. So, depending on the size of the pyramids that you build underneath them determines what powers you can have. So as you can see, you can have speed, you can have haste, you can have resistance, you can have jump boost, strength, and also regeneration if you have the full pyramid. So in order to build these pyramids, you must use emerald, diamond, gold, or iron. So for this sake, I've just got just the one, and all it is just the one pyramid set. So it's a 3x3 by one block of bunch of block of irons. So, in order for a beacon block to work, you've got two conditions. You must have one, you must have a pyramid with the beacon block sitting on top. The second condition is that anything above this block must be either glass or nothing. So as you can see here, I've got a block of sandstone. So this sandstone is blocking off this. So as soon as I break this, after the next tick that comes on with the beacon, you now get the beam going to the sky. In our initial design of this system, we had a piston which would retract a block on top of this, which would then cut the beam. But then we found a more compact version by doing it the other way. So the other way of hindering this beam is to essentially destroy the pyramid. So if we were to take this block away here, the beam stops. And this is the concept we've used over here. So I'll just replace these. Another useful thing about creative, or actually in any mode, is the pick block function. So this is not by default your center wheel button. Not many people that I know about this. It makes shortening things so much easier. So as you can see, I just picked up a beacon block, and I've picked up sandstone. Then I've even got a button. So it doesn't even have to be in your inventory or anywhere in creative. It just picks the block. So to build this system, I've marked out the ground. And then all it consists of is this piston, which is then connected to our RS latch. So when the RS latch is on, the piston puts the block in. And then when we go over here to turn it off, so you must always have that redstone going into that block there. If that's not true, then it's not going to work. And then up here, we've got a layer of dirt, so this signifies you can hide it underground. And we've just got a piece of glass here so you don't fall down in it. So to demonstrate this, I'm going to press this button. So this activates the RS latch, which activates the piston, putting the block back in, which then sends our beam up to the sky. Now this can be seen night or day, or up until you hit the far render distance where your chunks are still loaded. So if I go back over to here, and then to turn it off, you just put another signal into this block here, which then turns off the torch here, which then turns this off, which then turns that on, and so forth. So I'll go into how to build this. So in order to build our beacon waypoint device, you need your 4x3x5 zone. So as you can see, I'm a fan of marking up my zones before I start. It makes it easier. So what we're going to do first is we're going to build the base of our pyramid. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops, does not want to like me today. Okay. Then at the back we're going to build our RS latch. So you've got to put a block here, block, 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 and block. Get rid of that one. Put the torch in. Put a torch up there. And put our block back down there. Fill in the red with the redstone. So you can go like this. Da, 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 da. And then we're going to put our beacon block in the middle, which will initially activate. Now we need our sticky piston, which will then connect up to here, which will then take away our block. So turn it on, put the block in, turn it off, take the block away. So there it is, our beacon is gone. Now you can put this as many deep, you can put this as deep as you want inside the ground. All you have to do is you can use the glass to go like this. You can build it all the way up here. As long as there's glass, you can have this go as high as you want. If there's any other type of block in there other than glass or air, and this won't work. You can even use this in the nether, but the problem with having it in the nether is that you need to go all the way out of the top of the nether for this to work. So as you can see, that's essentially the device. So you can have it here, so you can press the button, and then blocks in, beam goes. So there goes the beam away. And then if we go over here, we can turn it off, and the beam disappears. Now the beauty of this system is that you can string them together. So this is another device which I've just built now. So in order to string them together, you must make an addition, you must put this repeater in here. Because otherwise, whenever you have this powered, it then powers this one, regardless as if you want to turn this one off. So by putting in that repeater, you can have a chain up to infinitesimal of these, so you can have as many as you want. So, as you can see, both beams are now turned off. If I turn this one on, this beam will then go on. And then let's say you've reached this point, you want to send a pulse to the next one. So you go over to here, you press this button. So once you press this button, it'll then send a pulse through here, which then disconnects that one, and then enables this one. And then in order to turn that one off over here, you go over here, press this, and then that turns off too. Now, the problem with this system is that this, from beacon to beacon along this section, so this redstone to this redstone, however long it is, you need what's called a two-way repeater. So I'll build one of these quickly for you to show what I mean, because after 14 blocks the system becomes null and void and it just won't work anymore. So as you can see, I've gone and built two of the devices that I've got here. So we've got one here which I can then activate, which then will send off the beam once it updates. So there it goes. And then what I can do is I can then turn it off. So I've turned it off. Now as you can see, pulse didn't go all the way. So if I go and put here, I'm going to put in a standard repeater, the pulse might get to the other end. Say might, I haven't tested it. So we look the other way, and the beam goes. But when we go over here to turn this one off, the pulse doesn't travel back. So in order to fix our issue between the two beacons, what we need to do is build a two-way repeater. So two-way repeaters are relatively simple, so I'm going to put a block there, and here, a block over here. I'll put a torch on the side, and a torch on the side, redstone, 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 take away these two in the middle, don't need them. Then we're going to cover this with a block, cover this with a block, put a torch, then from each of these torches we're going to put in a repeater into the block. So this essentially makes a two-way repeater. So as you can see, the power is coming from that side, which then goes in here, turning off that torch, which turns on that torch, which then sends it this way. Now these systems must be placed 14 blocks apart if you're going to have a chain of them going from one place to another, like we did underground in the showcase video. So now that whenever we go over here, because that beacon over there is on, you can actually use it so that this could be changed so you've got, say, a pressure plate. So you can make it so that this beam is momentarily on. Oops, that's not a pressure plate. So you can make it so that somebody can come over here and stand on this, then they can turn it on for a friend, but as soon as they hop off it, the other beam is on, which immediately locks this one off. So that's the purpose of the two-way repeater. And when you've got it so that this one over here is off, you turn this one off, go back over here. You can also have it so that when this one's on and you want to move to the next checkpoint, it still works as normal by pressing this button, which then goes and activates the second checkpoint, whereas it still locks this one off. And then you can still go and stand on the pressure plate for a temporary come and find me type beacon. So this has been another tutorial and showcase by the Redstone Camper. Once again, comment, rate, subscribe, etc. if you wish. I am intrigued to see if people want me to make more videos. And as always, remember to have fun camping.